Greetings and salutations. Today we'll be covering the tragic vanishing of the Martins family. It all started on a crisp December day in 1958, when the Martins family embarked on a cheerful holiday excursion. Yet their quest into the Columbia River Gorge turned into a haunting enigma shrouded in unanswered questions. The day prior, Kenneth and Barbara Martin, residents of Portland, Oregon, had delighted in a Christmas celebration before returning to their home at 1715 Northeast 56th Avenue in the Roseway neighborhood, before deciding to make plans for an outing the following day. In the early hours of December 7th, the Martins, accompanied by their daughters, Barbie, Susan, and Virginia, embarked on a journey in their distinctive cream and red 1954 Ford Country Squire station wagon. Their destination was the scenic Columbia River Gorge, where the air was thick with the scent of pine and the allure of gathering greenery for festive adornments was ever present. As daylight stretched across the land, the Martins' whereabouts became elusive. However, sparse fragments of their day emerged. A gas station encounter with Dean Baxter in Cascade Locks, where they purchased gasoline before their eastward trek. Carla York, a waitress at Paradise Snack Bar in Hood River, recounted serving the family, marking another brief moment in their excursion. Yet these sightings would not be the last known traces of the Martins. Witnesses passing by reported catching glimpses of the family on the north bank of the Columbia River in Washington as dusk painted the sky. Witness descriptions of the family would go as follows. Kenneth was in a tan zip-up jacket and dark slacks. Barbara was in a black print dress with a navy blue coat. Barbie, the eldest daughter, was reportedly in jeans with rolled cuffs and wrapped in a beige coat. But from here, an unsettling silence would descend upon the family. Months later, a grim discovery occurred. The bodies of Susan and Virginia emerged, separated by nearly 30 miles along the Columbia River's shores. This was a tragic revelation in the wake of an inexplicable vanishing. This event would leave such an indelible mark on Oregon's history that a massive manhunt would be triggered. Yet the fates of Kenneth, Barbara, and Barbie remained entwined in a web of the unknown. The family's vehicle, a silent witness to their journey, never surfaced. Complications arose as well. A stolen firearm was found. 2 ex-convicts would be arrested in the vicinity shortly after the family's disappearance. Yet the connection, if any, remained elusive to investigators. Decades have passed, but the enigma endures, casting a shadow over the tranquil landscape of the Columbia River Gorge and leaving behind a tale etched in the annals of mystery. Days after their vanishing act, the normal rhythm of life had seemingly halted, and it had been noticed by others. Kenneth had failed to show up at work, marking an uncharacteristic absence. Simultaneously, Barbie's presence was amiss in her morning class at Grant High School. Concern grew as reports surfaced of both Susan and Virginia's inexplicable absence from Rose City School, amplifying the sense of unease surrounding the family's vacation. The alarm was sounded on December 9th in particular. This came from Kenneth's boss, Taylor Excels, who took swift action reporting the Martins as missing. Law enforcement responding to the call descended upon the Martins' residence at around 11 p.m., probing for any signs of disturbance or foul play. The house itself was an eerie tableau, seemingly frozen in time. This revealed a snapshot of the normalcy which was shattered by their absence. The laundry machine hummed quietly, holding an unfinished task, while dishes lingered in the drying rack, a scene suspended in an unsettling stillness. Adding to the intrigue, the family's bank accounts boasted a substantial sum, a detail that seemed to confound investigators, probing for a motive behind the family's disappearance or potential misfortune. Shortly after this, a frantic search would ensue, led by both Multnomah County and Hood River County Police Departments. However, leads remained elusive, always teasing investigators but yielding no substantial breakthroughs. Eventually, a stolen Chevrolet from Venice, Los Angeles would be discovered. For a short while, it was believed to be the Martins' vehicle. However tantalizing this was, authorities would quickly dismiss this as being unrelated, seeing as it did not match the Martins' vehicle description. Amidst these perplexing findings, a chilling discovery was made in the area where the Martins had been. a .38 caliber Colt Commander, tainted with dried blood, was found concealed amongst the bushes. This grim specter of potential violence loomed large, yet the crucial piece of evidence would not undergo proper forensic testing. However, it was traced back to a Meyer and Frank department store, which was connected to a troubling past. In particular, Donald Martin was accused of involvement in the theft of sporting goods from that same store 2 years prior. In the aftermath of the Martins' disappearance, a series of alleged sightings and cryptic clues would emerge, creating a tapestry of intrigue, which raised more questions than it answered. An unexpected nexus of information and theories emerged in Hood River County on December 8th when 2 ex-convicts, Roy Light and a hereto unnamed accomplice, were apprehended for car theft, linked to the abandoned Chevrolet, with a potential for a puzzling connection with the Martins' vanishing. There is also a waiter at the Hood River entry, which was the Martins' last known location, who supposedly spotted them, adding a curious detail, a sighting of the ex-convicts, which coincided with the Martins' hasty departure. As the weeks unfurled into months, a deluge of over 200 letters and hundreds of phone calls inundated law enforcement with tantalizing tips. Amongst them, an orchard owner claims to have seen a man and a woman gathering greenery in a canyon, tantalizingly close to a Native American burial ground. Reports of a woman's glove found near the abandoned Chevrolet, similar to those Barbara would often wear, were taken into account. However, neither of these could be conclusively linked to the family. The web of sightings would extend across states as reports would continue to cascade in. Alleged sightings in Burlington, Iowa, another spotting the family on Baldock Freeway, and truck drivers' claims of glimpses of the Martins' vehicle parked in Billings, Montana, would intensify as the search spread across the vast distance. By February 1959, investigative efforts expanded, encompassing searches across Portland's expanse into Mount Hood, and eventually a volunteer searcher stumbled upon tire tracks leading ominously off a cliff near Dallas, bearing an eerie resemblance to those the family's vehicle would have left. They would also recover paint chips, which would be scrutinized by the FBI, which matched the make and model of the vehicle, deepening the mystery with a potential plunge into the river. Desperate attempts to unveil the truth would lead to drastic measures being taken, culminating in the United States Army Corps of Engineers intervening, lowering the river's level behind Bonneville Dam by 5 feet, and deploying sonar technology to further fuel the quest to unearth any answers which would be beneath the waters. Then a chilling turning point would be marked by the recovery of both Susan and Virginia's bodies, shattering any hope and confirming the tragedy. A river drilling rig snagged a rather strange object, hinting at an unspeakable weight being below the surface. Shortly after, a fisherman and his wife stumbled upon 2 lifeless forms floating downstream, which would be the bodies of both Susan and Virginia. The discovery of the bodies deepened the sorrow and riddles surrounding this case. Susan's body was found near Camas, Washington, followed by Virginia's body being discovered near Bonneville Dam, inciting a flurry of potential explanations. While the medical examiner's initial suspicions of bullet wounds were refuted, traces of metal, notably aluminum, clung to Susan's clothing. This would be a cryptic detail which detectives would hang on to, due to a smelting plant being opposite of the site where the car supposedly went careening off the cliff. Sheriff Rupert Gilmouth's chilling hypothesis painted a grim picture. An overturned car reverberated with its doors dislodged, allowing the bodies to surface downstream. However, exhaustive searches of the water, utilizing sonar and aerial resources, yielded no further traces of the missing trio, bringing this potential theory into doubt. The pursuit of the remaining 3, Kenneth, Barbara, and Barbie, would be met with an ominous halt, marked by a search diver's near fatal mishap, compelling the suspension of the search altogether. The police would grapple with 2 primary theories surrounding this case. One suggesting a tragic accident, summarizing that Kenneth, at the helm of the vehicle, inadvertently steered them into the river, and another, more sinister notion, alleging a calculated abduction, forcing the family off the cliffside into the murky depths below, potentially for an individual to claim their modest estate. A letter penned by a concerned observer in 1961 recounted a chilling scene. Screams heard, a vehicle veering ominously towards the locks. Yet upon investigation, only a haunting emptiness lingered. Years passed, but closure remained elusive. In 1966, Donald, the lone surviving member of the family, inherited the estate. After a lengthy 7-year probate, he would later seek solace in Hawaii, taking on the mantle of a teacher, leaving behind the enigma of his family's inexplicable disappearance. His passing in 2004 marked the end of an era, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and loss. Multnomah County Police clung to suspicions of foul play, driven by the perplexing evidence. The tire tracks, in particular, indicated a calculated push from the cliff, conflicting with sightings of the family on a different riverbank, leading to hints of a puzzle whose pieces refused to fit. Decades shrouded the search for the missing trio in silence. That is until 1993, when journalist Margie Boulé, gripped by the gravity of the case, spearheaded a dive expedition into the Columbia River's depths near Cascade Locks, armed with cutting-edge technology in a quest which ultimately proved futile, leaving the waters guarding their secrets. And still, as the pages turned into the new millennium, the somber truth eluded all. The question of where were Kenneth, Barbara, and Barbie remained, ensnaring investigators in an enigmatic veil in the depths of the Columbia River. Their fate obscured, their vehicle concealed in a riddle which continues on to this day. In the labyrinth of lore that is the Martin family's disappearance, their vanishing remains veiled in mystery, a mystery which echoes throughout the Columbia River. A saga of sorrows and speculation surfaces, a baffling blend of tantalizing trails and troubled twists, where theories tangle and time takes its toll. From chilling cliffside claims to the haunting echoes of witnessed screams, their tale tiptoes through treacherous terrain, weaving a tantalizing yet troubling tapestry. If you remained with me until the end, I thank you. And I do hope you stay tuned and subscribe for more content.